Alright, welcome to the video. So this program here is called Magic Set Editor, and you can use it to design Magic the Gathering cards. I'm going to walk you guys through some of the core features of the program and sort of what's possible with it. I primarily use it for Magic the Gathering itself, but there are a variety of templates available on the internet for other games as well. A couple years ago, the creator actually put out a new update for it. Um, and so currently we have the mainframe template with all the good stuff by the skilled templaters at magicseteditor.boards.net, I believe it is now. Back in the day, it used to be SourceForge. Um, but yeah, you can get the core program there. And if you're looking for expanded templates, you're going to be looking at the links in the custom Magic Discord server. I should be leaving links down in the description for all of these things, so if you have interest in trying the program out yourself, feel free to install it through those links. Alright, so first things first, we have all these tabs up here: cards, style, set info, keywords, statistics, random, and console. And each of them is useful for different things. The cards panel, pretty straightforward. You get all your cards with the designs, all sorts of things. Um, there are some simple characters you should know to kind of shortcut things. Obviously, white, blue, black, red, and green. Wooberg, so W U B R G. Um, and that is how you kind of get all five of the colors right there. What's nifty is the frame should update automatically as you add colors to it, but it doesn't always, depending on how updated your templates are. We can make a sort of rudimentary card here. We're going to make we're just going to make lightning bolt. So the first trick I'll show you guys is how to include the card name in the text box as a shortcut. So if you press shift and then the at button, it'll put the name there. And if you do shift and then I believe it was at, so one of them is shift at, the other one is the tilde. That'll create names for shortcut. To kind of show you the difference between the functionality of those, I'm going to make a quick example here. We're going to create a legendary creature named Zergo, the lightning bolt. So with the card name itself, which I believe is the shift at, or is the shift tilde, it's one of them. So one of them you're bringing in the whole card name, and then the other one is what's referred to in the program as legend name. So that will just be the first name of the creature that you have if it's legendary. Um, Most of the time, there's going to be zero difference between the two of those things, simply because you're often not making legendary creatures, or maybe you are. I don't know. Um, but yeah, you got these arrow shortcuts. You can kind of scroll through here and kind of pick the card type you enjoy most. Lightning Bolt, of course, is an instant. And using that same trick I just showed you guys, we're going to do a shift at, and then we're going to say deals 3 damage to any target. Good stuff. Um, we're going to go ahead. Find a good picture of Lightning Bolt. So you can grab art using the internet browser of your choice. You can copy an image and paste it into the art box. You can also double click to have a pop-up box show up where you can browse for a file on your local system. In this case, we're just going to copy paste. So there will be a pop-up that lets you insert the art. There will be a bunch of options: original size, size to fit, force to fit, custom size. Usually I recommend you just leave it size to fit and try to center it best you can where you want it. And after you press OK, it'll load the art in there for you. Um, One thing that I highly recommend as just a best practice to do, especially when designing custom cards using art that you don't necessarily own, is that you should always credit the artist. Rookie rookie mistake is not crediting the artist. You're gonna kind of look a lot um, more put together as a designer if you remember to credit the artist for the card art. So that line is right down here. And of course, we can put whatever we want as the flavor text. Uh, I don't know. I almost want to put the flavor text for lightning greaves on here, where it's like the rock became the ore became the greaves, the lightning never left, or whatever. That's like one of my favorite flavor texts of all time. I don't remember the flavor text of lightning bolt off the top of my head. We'll just do that. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Um, so yeah, that's the basics of this tab here, the cards. I'm going to show you how to add other cards here real quick. If you go up here, there's a little plus. Click that, and it'll add another card right here. You can, of course, use the arrow keys to scroll through them. And what's really nifty is it'll always organize the cards in here by their card number, and usually that is in the Wooberg order, which is white, blue, black, red, green. And then you have a number alphabetized within each color. Um, so, for example, if we made another red card here, like shock, you see that as soon as we added it to red, it switched places and put itself right in front of lightning bolt. So this is a pretty nice trick, especially if you're creating larger sets. It'll always alphabetize itself and be sorted within color. Um, There's, of course, various ways to organize it. If you press this here, you can cycle through card numbering, order, alphabetization, and I think there's one option for time of creation, so it'll show you your most recent designs further down the line and your oldest towards the top. Yeah, so that's this tab. We'll go ahead and delete that. Next, we're going to move on to the Style tab. So in here, you have access to all the various frames that can appear on Magic cards. For example, if we wanted to, oh look at that, Lightning Bolt's a full art Zendikar land now. It shouldn't be, but there it is. There's a lot of skilled templaters out there who know how to make really cool stuff like this. Um, and just depending on kind of what you like making the most, um, you might find a template that you can kind of customize. I've dabbled a little bit in creating custom templates, but nothing super major. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that was a template I installed. Yeah, so there we go. Now if you go back, it'll do this as well. But if we add another card right in our cards panel, it'll revert back to the normal style. If you want to create a situation where every card in your set is the same style on creation, you can use this button here which says use for all cards. So let's just do that because I like this frame. It looks pretty good. I kind of wish there were options for the customizable watermark. Maybe there are. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, no. Okay, so it looks like that Commander Legends symbol is just kind of baked into the watermark there, which is fine. Um, yeah, so that's the style tab. There's a bunch of options here. Like, let's say we need to shift the text down or in a certain position. You can kind of set coordinates. You can kind of see them move a little bit there. Yeah. So this is basically, I believe it's like how many pixels from the top of the rules text field that you want to chop off. Because sometimes you get so much text in here that it starts to go a little higher than it normally would on a magic card. So this is just kind of a way to manually do that. One thing I always recommend if you're messing with this stuff here is before you do that, usually you're going to want to click the option specific to this card because you don't want to apply all these customizations to every card in the set more than likely, because you need to shift perhaps the text of just this one card instead of everything inside your game files. So that's the style tab right here. Moving on to set info. So this is the juicy stuff. So we're gonna just for fun, we're gonna call this set core set garbage. We are going to say in the description, designed by Mark Double Rosewater, uh, in collaboration with a squirrel. No, with 15 squirrel tokens. Excellent. Uh, so the artist here, this is kind of a way to make it so every artist citation on your cards is a single artist. Usually I leave this empty because most of the cards in your set are going to have different artists unless you just happen to find an artist who is very prolific and every card in your set is created by them. The copyright line, you can do whatever, TM and blah blah blah. Core set. Wow. Okay. So there you go. And what you'll notice is if you go back to your cards, you'll notice that copyright appears down in the bottom corner of your card. And if you create a new card, it'll already come preloaded on that. For the set code, well, existing sets have set codes. You'll notice this on Magic cards as well. So Ixalan, I think, is like XLN or something. For this, since it's core set garbage, we'll do the CSG, the classic. Set language. For English, it's just going to be an EN for English. And then if you go back to your card, look at that. Now it's all looking real official and stuff. Let's go back to our lightning bolt. Look at that. See, I don't like the cropping on here. See, the text goes over a little bit. But other than that, it looks pretty nice. Back to our set info. Now I get to show you guys one of my favorite parts about the program. If you go under the symbol tab, you can double click here. Let me make sure it popped up. There we go. Perfect. So if you double click there, it'll create this window. And there'll be a square. What you can do is you can kind of modify this by clicking it and moving the points around and stuff. So let's say you want to create your own custom set symbol. You can kind of mess with the points by double clicking the shape. We're just going to make a little boat here. So you can add shapes to this. If you want to merge the shapes together, you can use this merge function. And then we'll add some triangles to really make it look like a ship of some kind. We got to line it up perfect. Alright. Shortcut. If you select shape inside the symbol editor and do Control D, that'll duplicate it. And then you can just flip it over like this. Perhaps we'll scale it a little bit. Oh, look at that. Very nice. And then we're going to hit store. Always remember to hit store before exiting the simple editor. Now, you'll notice if we X out of here, inside the main set file itself, it appears in our symbols. And if we go back to cards, glorious. There it is right there under the rarity. And of course, it's already pre-built into the program to change rarities for cards. For this set, we're going to have lightning bolts still be a common. Okay, moving on. The keywords tab. Now this is where things get a little bit funky. This section is for if you want to have automatic reminder text appear for your custom designed mechanics. So, to do that, we're going to add a keyword. Good stuff. Now, I don't know if I have all the updates in here, but we're just going to create a really, really simple mechanic. We're going to call it Ultra Kicker. Nice. So we can go into the matches and add that term. So this up here is the name of the keyword. It doesn't really matter for actual card design and stuff. But down here with the matches, this is kind of what the program's going to look for and try to match inside the rules text of your cards. So for this case, we're going to do Ultra Kicker, and then we're going to insert a parameter to use, and we're going to make it be a cost. So cost allows us to insert mana symbols in there. Then we can go down here to the reminder text, and we're going to say as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may pay so we're going to change that because it can't just be kicker, right? We got to make it different. So as an additional cost to cast this spell, if you haven't kicked a card with Ultra Kicker this game, you may pay cost. Perfect. So now if we go back to our cards here, we can go to that card we were still designing, and we're going to type in Ultra Kicker. So something weird is going to happen here. When we hit space, it's going to already have the reminder text in there for us, including the stuff we already set up. All we got to do here is use the same codes for mana values I showed you guys earlier. So that could be a 3, and then we'll do a red just for fun. And we'll call this Ultra Bolt. And we're just going to kind of go over to Lightning Bolt, copy all that rules text. And then we're going to say if was kicked perfect. So there you go. That's a card design right there with a custom mechanic we just hooked up into the program using our keywords tab. There's a variety of things you can do with this, and there's a lot of tricks here too. One thing I always recommend if you're trying to get a little creative with your mechanic design is kind of look how the other mechanics that are already built into the program are formatted and worded, because there's a lot of patterns you can start to pick up as you start to make more and more mechanics. Alright, so that is the keywords tab. Moving on. we have the statistics tab. Wonderful. So you have all these filters here for a variety of aspects about any individual card, and it's kind of designed to give you an overall idea of what the set is looking like. This function is far more useful later on in the design process when perhaps you are looking at a set with 200 plus cards in it and you want to really make sure that each of the archetypes has approximately equal support across each of their colors. In this case, we're dealing with a smaller set, and there's 2 red cards. And if you go to rarity here, it'll say there are 2 red common cards, so you can actually make it a little more dynamic. And let's say we don't want to look at card color. All we care about is rarity. 2 commons. Perfect. Um, yeah, this this one's pretty fun. Keywords in particular is particularly useful if you're trying to make sure you have even distribution of mechanics throughout your set. Um, but there's a lot of other ways of doing it as well. Rarity, make sure all the colors have about equal rarities among their cards. And yeah, moving on. This is the pack generator. So once you have a larger set with various rarities and you want to try to get an idea of what that's going to look like in booster pack form, you can kind of add a booster pack there and just generate it. Because we only have 2 cards in the set currently, it's not going to produce the most accurate booster pack, but it's going to do its best. Everything in here is kind of mapped out to already do your classic 10 commons, 3 uncommons, and then 1 rare, which is kind of the way draft boosters are put together. Uh, the vast majority of the designers, from my perspective, historically speaking, have designed for draft in mind. That being said, these days in Magic especially, um, formats like Commander are a lot more attractive to the larger player base, and so it seems that more people are trying to do that these days as well. So, this has been a review of Magic Set Editor. If you have any questions on kind of what else is possible with the program or how I did any particular thing in the video, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And you all have a great rest of your day.